Okay, so first of all, I just want to talk a little bit about why I'm so excited about this particular moment in time. It We have a new moon yesterday that is in Aquarius, and it is also the Chinese New Year and the Tibetan New Year. Everybody back there, mute. I'm gonna go through and mute. Okay, great. Um, when you guys are gonna share, you can totally unmute, but just for now. Um, so it's the Tibetan New Year, which is called Losar, Losar, and it is in sort of even closer to home. The If you look at the cycle of the year, right, when we have these markings, you might call it pagan, but to me it's just kind of like basic, Earth observation kind of celebrations. So we have like the solstices. So the winter solstice being the lowest amount of light, and the summer solstice being sort of that peak of sun. The equinoxes being at halfway points, right? Where it's like this, it's like they're considered unstable because it's like you're right at the, it's right there in the balance point. And then, so those are the cross quarters. And then we have the like holidays that basically make the points in between those. And these ones are less familiar. So it's like most people know about solstices, most people know about equinox. But Beltane, comes between the spring equinox and the summer solstice. I believe it's like Llamas, is that it? That comes between the summer solstice and the fall equinox, and that's like the harvest moment. And then Samhain, which is after the fall equinox and before the winter solstice, Samhain, which a lot of people know as Halloween. And then after the winter solstice and before the spring equinox is Imbolc. Imbolc. I'm gonna put it in the chat. So for a lot of these holy days, there's like a Gregorian calendar time date, and then sometimes there's the sort of like lunar equivalent. So to me, the lunar is usually what I feel to be the most accurate, as opposed to being like, it's February 1st or it's February 2nd, or something like this. So really, if you're interested in like tuning into the cycles, then you can get kind of even more accurate if you kind of tune in, well, is this one about a full moon or is this one about a new moon? You know? And like, where does it land in that relation? So I'm super excited about this new moon because this is a new moon of Imbolc, which is basically the beginning. It's like the beginning of spring. It's actually the beginning of the new year. It's the beginning of the new cycle. And the way that we can understand Imbolc is like, you can't feel the warmth of it yet, but there's like a spark that's been lit, right? Like a little flame, a spark that's been lit deep, deep inside the earth that basically starts the stirring from under the earth that eventually is, you know, allowing life to spring up forth again, right? Anew. So we're at that moment where it's like you can't see it, there's no life, there's no green coming up, but there's a stirring and there's this ignition of a small flame, right? That's going to blossom into the whole entire fruiting of this coming year. So for me, I don't celebrate that New Year's shit on January 1st, right? This is our new year. And the Chinese and the Tibetans and a variety of other cultures get that as well. So hopefully that gives you a little more context for why I'm excited. And like there's this weird pressure around New Year's to be like, okay, like this is the new year, like find in yourself what it is, And for me, like that time of year is like not about, it's like I do not feel available for that. And more and more in my life, trying to like surrender to the process, like even though I'm kicking and screaming most of the time. But my cycle of sort of like crumbling and collapse, of that like natural like dying cycle of the year, of the season of the year has it's like it's naturally shifting at this time. And I'm curious to know if even in small ways, if it feels like a little bit more like some dream might be starting to like reveal for you or get, it's starting, there's some motion happening there. So just thinking about that again, like, and you don't have to be ready to spring, because it's not that yet. It's just like, it's a spark. It's a kindling, you know? So I wanted to share that perspective with you all and like invite as in all new moons, they are opportunities to plant seeds. And this particular one may be a good one to plant, to intentionally give some energy to that planting, because this one might, in this context, be, you know, seeding fruit for the rest of the year, for the rest of the season, the unfolding cycle, right? So,